Have you ever wondered what it's really like to sail to other countries? To dive amazing locations and explore the world on a yacht? Then come with us. Tripping down a road I never. You're joining us tonight in the Pacific Ocean on our 1100 nautical mile journey from New Zealand to Tonga. The yellow moon, she lights my way. I'm not worried at all.
Evening. It's pretty calm. It's actually a bit too calm. No, it's not too calm. We're having pizza for dinner. Jamie's request. And we're only 2 nights out. So everything's nice and fresh, including buffalo mozzarella. And we've got a little travelling garden at the moment, Jamie, so there'll be fresh basil. Grab me some fresh basil, please.
Now that's how you eat at sea. Thank you, darling.
About to go through a bit of a boat wash, it looks like. It's about 10:30 at night. Hooting along pretty well. Not a lot of wind, so we've got a motor going. Every now and again we hit one of these squalls and the wind picks up for about 5 minutes and we go along at about 8 knots, and then it goes back to sort of the 5s and 6s that we've been doing all day. Otherwise, still a bit cold, still a bit windy from a sitting outside perspective. But hopefully each day brings another day, another temperature increase. Otherwise, I'm listening to some music tonight. Got a bit sick of my book. Caught a few people, because I can now with Starlink. Yeah, time zone means I can call some friends at home. And all in all, hasn't been too unpleasant.
Just doing my 1 a.m. lookout. There is really not a breath of wind. It says 3 knots. It's pretty still. The sea state's very, very calm, but because there's no light, you really can't see it. The stars look pretty amazing though. $877 nautical miles to go, and we're currently doing just under 5 knots. Of course, our favourite little coffee machine, critical on passages. And the moon's finally come up for the evening. I've just woken up from a nap, and Denise is making cold rolls.
Why? Because we have a herb garden at the moment. Cold rolls. Not really a recipe because you don't cook anything. Leftover roast chicken. Rice vermicelli noodles. We use the thick ones because Jamie doesn't like the thin ones. I quite like the thin ones. And then some cucumber, some carrot. Really, whatever you like. I don't like avocado. Some people do avocado. And then because we've got some herbs, a little bit of coriander. I'm being very stingy because we don't have a lot. Basil and some mint. Oh, and some, did I put that on already? Spring rolls. Not spring rolls, spring onion. You roll it up. Tight if you can, so the bits don't fall out later.
Cold rolls with hoisin sauce. They're really good.
And messy. And messy.
Wow, that's looking more like the Pacific. That's glassed off beautifully. Still cold, about 16, 17 degrees. But we're now at a higher latitude than Sydney, so we should start improving over the coming days. 3 days in, 7 or 8 to go. Look at this water. Fantastic. Denise is inside having a bit of a sleep. She hasn't been feeling that great today. So hopefully a bit of a sleep, she'll feel a bit better. It has been a remarkably pleasant day. We've probably only got about 8 knots of wind for most of the afternoon, but we're still keeping up pretty good speed. We're going to jump into the engine bay, hence the Murray Brothers outfit, and just check all the fluids. Oh yes, and we're going to run out of fuel, so we've got to top up the fuel with that jerry can, so we'll do that as well. Yeah, oil's good. Good colour too.
Good vintage.
Good vintage. This is called a jiggler, designed so you can siphon fuel. It's a nifty bit of kit, which makes refueling a breeze.
It is the end of day 3. We are about to play Yahtzee and have spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. No wind at all today. We have played with the sails up and down and back and forth, and they're just flogging, so we've given up. And we just plan to run the engine all night. Beautiful day, actually. It was warm enough. Jamie put a t-shirt on. We put sunscreen on, got sunglasses out. It's great. I haven't used any of those things for weeks in New Zealand. And we've just ticked over under 800 nautical miles, 95. It's pretty close to 800, but we're counting it into the sevens. Which means we've got about 7 days to go.
You can cross any ocean, climb any mountain, and if you ask me, I'll always say, I know you can reach the top. It might take time, but don't you stop. Just believe in what you've got. Everything is going your way. Today is your day. So now your journey begins.
We can confidently say this is Pacific Blue. There's no wind at all. It's not great if you're wanting to sail, but we will take a few days of this beautiful weather. Time to cook dinner, or decant. So I did a whole lot of provisioning in episode 128, and also same thing before we left Australia to go to New Zealand, in which we cryovacked a whole lot of meals, so that wouldn't have to cook if it was too gross. So although this doesn't look very nice, this was actually an exquisite chicken coq au vin, mashed potato and veggies and stuff. Jamie would like me to say bon appetit, but I am not Julia Childs. Dinner! These are our camping egg containers. We use them on the boat because we don't want cardboard on the boat. In Australia and New Zealand, it's not a problem. There aren't any cockroach eggs in cardboard. But overseas, it certainly is a big problem. And if you get a cockroach on the boat, quite frankly, burn the boat, I say. There's just no reason to ever live on a boat again. Turn them every day. Keeps the shell coated with the white, clear stuff, which has a name that I can't remember, the egg whites. And it stops air getting to the egg, and it stops the egg going off.
You just turn it literally once a day.
Bit of manual charting. 31 degrees, 37 minutes south. And 178 degrees, 51 minutes east. Having a bit of a slow day. 178.
We manually chart in case we lose all electronics.
God, those dashes are small. I'm glad we did this course when I had better ISO. 20, 46. Okay. There. We are there. Which is very interesting, Jamie, because just for shits and giggles, I'll do that. That's very interesting, Jamie, because Esperance Rock, which we have manually plotted on our chart, according to us, we're going to go onto, that's going to be on our port side. So that marker on that chart, which we put in, is in the wrong spot. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or questions about being on passage or passage making, pop them in the comment section below. And if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up and hit the bell to get the reminder as to when the next episode's up. Thanks.
They are little rain squalls we've been going through over the last 4 hours while I was off shift. Didn't sleep very well because when we went through them, the wind angle would change and the sheets would just start flogging. The sheets are the ropes that attach to the sails, and if your wind angle changes and then the sail luffs, of course it starts flapping around, the sheets smack against the coach house. Makes a hell of a noise. Nothing you can really do about it, except as soon as the wind does change, then you can obviously bear away or do whatever's required. It's not overly cold, it's about 17, 18 degrees, but it's now wet. So we've got the full palaver on, including the wet weather pants. Still got very little wind though, in the scheme of things. Denise said it got up to about 25 knots through one of these little squalls, but you know, we've got maybe 7 knots of wind, so we're still motor sailing, try and maintain a bit of speed in the attempt to try and get ahead of this big front that we know is coming. We won't get ahead of it, but if we can get further along, then we won't hit the worst of it. And that doesn't happen now for still another, say, 3 days. I'd normally smile now, but I can't smile. I'm just knackered. Welcome to day 5. We've got a bit under 600 nautical miles to go, so we will hit the halfway mark in about 8 hours time. Still no wind to speak of, maybe 5 knots, so we're still motor sailing. Not much else to report really. Rained a lot last night. Still some squalls out in the water, I'll show you. See that shower squall in the distance? That's what they look like. Really intense, small, localised. And they can pop up and disappear just as quickly as each other. Done another weather download, and on Friday you can see here the wind's going to be coming straight towards us, so we're going to have to head off to the northwest at least until it passes, and then we'll be able to run back with it after it goes through. So just as we thought prior to leaving, probably the last couple of days, we're going to have that fairly strong winds of 25 knots, and we'll have to go the wrong direction and start heading northwest. But as that goes through, then we should be able to turn to the northeast and head up to Tonga.
Nap time. Meanwhile, out here, beautiful driving day again. But I'm taking the opportunity of it being nice and still to cook up some veggies that will probably be confiscated if we don't cook them. So rather than eating stuff that I've made in the freezer, because cooked food is normally fun, I'm cooking up some of the fresh fresh veg. So today I am making a pumpkin and cauliflower soup with some bacon croutons to go on top, which I'll whack in the fridge, and we'll probably have one of the stormier sort of days that are coming up. It'll be a nice winter warmer. Try and make us feel better about our passage. But that's just for those 2 days. The rest of the passage so far has been delightful. Did get a bit wet last night. It's official. It's getting warmer. Down to a t-shirt. Jamie was in t-shirt and boxer shorts before, not filmed. 25 inside the cabin, it's 24 outside. Very exciting. This is what the cabin looks like when you're on passage. It's pretty hard to keep it clean. There's our wet weather jackets. The harness that we use. A few layers of clothes, plus our knife. Some more layering there. Ugg boots, and a spare harness on the floor, and then in the corner we've got gloves and beanies and laptops, etc. stay out almost constantly. Spinnaker lives here at the moment, and Jamie is in the engine bay again doing another sort of mid-passage oil check. And the verdict is...
Wherever we're going, I could not say for sure. Better not knowing, but it's better than before. He's the cure. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the fun line. Ain't nobody left behind.
That's a full yawn shot. Thanks, babe.
But it doesn't seem to be.
As it starts to get dark, we still of course do our normal 15-minute lookouts. However, you want to adjust your instrument so you don't lose your night vision. Each of your gauges, you can adjust the brightness. So I'm going to drop that now to 30%. And then on the chart plotter, got a little sliding scale here. Ultimately, later tonight, I'll turn these down to literally 0, which is really quite dark. And by doing that, you don't lose your night vision when you're checking out what's going on the instrument.
Well, we were going to have a bit of a drink and some nibbles and stuff because we are officially halfway. It's a little damp, so celebrations have been called off due to rain. Maybe tomorrow night.
We're completely surrounded by rain to the north and to the west at the moment. But that's okay. At least it's a bit warmer. They are some very dodgy looking clouds. When you see that sort of wispy stuff beneath them, it can mean all manner of things, so we're just going to keep a pretty close eye on that. Those lights are a 200-metre bulk carrier just passing behind us. And that's how close it looks on AIS. So you can see while we're monitoring it pretty carefully. However, we are zipping along nicely in this breeze. And only 533 nautical miles left to go. After a good night of sailing, we've had to turn an engine back on.
Okay, we've just had a look at the weather and the chart because from now on we've got another day and a half doing the motor sailing that we're doing in this relatively calm conditions, and then we're sort of going to have to turn off. It's going to get a little bit more sporty for at least 2 days and then turning back. So even though it says we've got 480 nautical miles as the crow flies, we've actually probably got about 600 left, which means today could probably be halfway day, Jamie. We could get that drink in that we didn't get yesterday because it rained. So what I'm thinking is rather than eat one of the defrosted meals tonight, we've got a little bit more fresh veg in there, including a bunch of asparagus that cost us $7.50, and I really like asparagus, so I really want to eat it, and it's not going to last much longer. So tonight we have steak and veggies and chimichurri sauce. We move all these other meals down to 1 day over, which buys us an extra day. And then we just need to talk about lunch options and what Jamie would like for lunch today. Do you want your options? Tuna, egg, salad, wrap, or fried eggs and ham.
Fried eggs and ham. I'll have fried eggs and ham for breakfast if you want.
Do you then want a tuna egg wrap for lunch?
Maybe, but let's focus on the fried eggs and ham for breakfast. Because although coffee's good, I want more than just coffee for breakfast.
A counter offer: fried eggs, fried mushrooms, fried tomato, no ham for breakfast.
But I thought we had to get rid of the pork products before we get to Tonga.
If you could see how this was being filmed, quite funny. We do need to get rid of the pork products, but I want to do ham and cheese toasted sandwiches. I don't know why I threw the ham in. I don't want you to eat it for breakfast.
Join us next week as we hit a major storm on day 8 of our passage to Tonga. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and place a comment below.